Hi there, my name's Ed. I'm a tea head, and today once again, we're doing a tea tasting. This time we've got the 2015 Yunnan Sourcing Green Miracle Ripe. In my last video I called that YS, which actually stands for Yunnan Sourcing, which I didn't realise at the time because I had forgotten when I bought the tea. So this is actually from Yunnan Sourcing, but supplied through Green Tea Guru. And this is a little bit of a look at what you're going to get. There's some kind of funny kind of mould potentially on there, but that's fine. So yeah, I got the 20-gram portion of this because it was a little bit more expensive, and I think that might pay off in the quality because, well, when I tell you about the tea, we'll find out. So we've been warming up our porcelain Guy 1 with 100-degree water, as always, as close to boiling as I can get it. So let's jump straight in with a bit of a sniff, a bit of a smell. A little bit quite similar to the last one. As I say, I'm not as familiar with Shu Pu'er as I am with raw or other teas. It's making me smile. I know it's not a smell or anything, but it's a sweetness, and it's almost like an addictive smell. Like I want to smell more. When I take my nose away, I'm like, oh, where's that gone? I want to smell it again. A kind of warming smell, kind of a sweet. I would say it's a kind of a green woodiness in a way. Not like a really woody smell, but kind of a fresh kind of, like if you were gonna, okay, this is gonna be really abstract. Like if you were gonna take a tree and you were gonna find the nicest smelling thing of that tree. I don't know what it would be like, you know, what like a material or chemical you would get. But it's almost like I'm smelling like the sap, like I'm getting like the good stuff. It's not like, you know, it's not like I'm smelling bark or something. It's like I'm smelling something nice. Again, I cannot describe aroma or flavour profiles at all. But where's my tea strainer? Right, so I've located my tea strainer quickly. So here it is. It's just off to the side. So we're going in for the rinse. Oh my goodness. I'm seeing this is quite interesting. Looks like a really rich pu'er, but I'm seeing as there's little tea drips from the strainer. You know, like imagine if you put like red food colouring into a glass of water, it would like plume into the water. Like I'm just seeing as it drops into that water, it's just pluming. So I mean, it's just like in terms of colour and whatever. Obviously, I think this had water in it already, so this isn't kind of exactly what the liquor is going to look like. But we're getting sidetracked. Smell like wet leaf. Kind of, you know, you get like a bit of tea leaf on your fingers. Right, okay. Pubby, very pubby, like as in it smells like a pub. So kind of a bit of smokiness, but it's not a smokiness that is. It's not like you're breathing in smoke. It's like something's been infused with smoke, or something's been in contact with smoke, but it's also a sweet smokiness. It's not like if you know when you get smoke on your clothes, like you've been standing near a bonfire and you go back and you smell it, and it's like quite almost like acidic almost, or you know, it's quite abrasive in its smell. Again, this is a warming smokiness, a welcoming smokiness, a sweet kind of a sweetness. I'm talking a lot about the smokiness. Smokiness isn't the predominant smell. As I say, I'm an amateur when it comes to tea, for the most part. So I honestly, I can't. Sweet, maybe a little bit of fruitiness, but it's a kind of not a fresh fruit, like kind of the sweet fruitiness that you might get from like a wine, or that you might get from, yeah, not kind of like a very kind of prominent, simple fruit sweetness. Kind of more. Wow, it's dark. Right, okay, we're going to quickly. This looks like it's going to be a really strong tea. So I'm going to quickly. Wow, that's fascinating. With certain teas, you get just really crazy patterns on the top. And I just saw a crazy pattern when I was putting the lid on. And it's like, I know this isn't necessarily like a sign of quality or anything, but it's just staining the tea as well. It's like staining the Gaiwan. It's like a really dark, even just like the faintest colour. Wow, I can't even see through this. So yeah, this tea is unbelievably thick. Look at that. I'm trying to put it up to the light from the mirror, from the window, and it's like tar. Look at it. It's amazing. You can just barely, like, if you swish it around, you can kind of see glimpses of kind of some kind of translucentness. But oh my goodness, like, and you can just see there's little particles, little kind of like tea particles in there. This tea is bold. It's thick and it's bold. Punchy, and it's potent. It's coated my mouth, and I can already kind of feel it almost, like it's kind of hitting me already. I literally can almost feel like it's like having a mental effect already. That's kind of crazy. Who knows? It might be placebo. Wow, this is a potent tea. I mean, I can't even, like, I've got a little, like, a fish in my cup, and I can't even almost see it. Like, it's that thick, and that was the first infusion, and that wasn't even steeped for very long either. Definitely not as long as I usually like. I tend to just forget about tea and just, like, not forget, but I brew it for too long. I just want to see what the second infusion is going to be like. I'm really excited to find out. So in my attempt to try and brew pu'er really hot, I've been experimenting with putting water down the sides, and other things. So yeah, that's what I'm doing there when I'm kind of if you think I'm missing my Gaiwan, I'm trying to get it down the side so it goes in the little plate, and because you can see how dark that tea is, just a little bit spilled out. It's like a little ring there now, and that's probably long enough anyway. This tea is, it's unapologetic, it's bold. God, look at that colour. Less cloudy this time, I can see, but it's almost like a shiny, polished kind of. It's not black, but it's kind of like a dark ruby brown, kind of almost mahogany, and it's still like it's not cloudy, but it's just so dark that you can't see through it. It's amazing. I've never had a tea this dark, I don't think. Just really thick, really bold. Everything that I was kind of smelling before. It's kind of there, and it's got personality. It's got, and it's just not apologizing. It's just, and I know this probably sounds crazy to anyone who either doesn't drink tea or. But maybe just to anyone, it might sound a bit crazy, but I mean, if you try this tea, you'll kind of get what I'm trying to explain. Wow. Like, you know, like I just feel like this tea is just giving me so much in terms of flavour, in terms of texture, in terms of minerality, in terms of the feeling and the energy. Wow, whoa. Amazing. Quite similar to the last tea, I would say. But again, my knowledge on ripe pu'er is like very limited. So pu'er, I mean, ripe pu'er is quite interesting because it's such a recent development, maybe in the last 50, 60, 70 years in terms of technique and processing. People tend to be a little bit snobby about ripe in the sense that they think it's lesser than raw, because raw is it's a slow aged, and it's kind of an ancient tea, and people use their ancient tea trees and ancient arbor and this sort of stuff. This is a ripe pu'er, basically made with raw pu'er material, so it's kind of good quality material, as in good quality leaf. That they decided to use for some ripe, which is it's not very common, but it's a triumph when it happens. Some tea, I think some like tea connoisseurs or whatever, experts or producers think that it's a little bit of tea sacrilege to use high quality leaf for ripe. So there we go. So this is the last green tea guru tea I will be trying, for now at least. I bought 4 teas and I've tried those 4 teas. What I will be doing is revisiting them, probably using my clay pot and basically experiencing it again just to see what I think, and then I'll probably do a write-up of each of them, just a quick write-up of what I think, and then move on to something else. There's always new teas to try, and spring it tends to be the picking season. This is a spring pick tea, by the way, which means it's good quality in general, at least. And so it's kind of coming. I think that they're having a late harvest in China this year, so we're kind of waiting for new teas to be sent over. So I'm sure there'll be a wealth of options for me to choose from when the time comes for me to buy some new tea. But yeah, I'm going to be spending some time exploring these teas a little bit more, learning a bit more about them, seeing if I can pinpoint any of those flavour profiles, those aroma profiles, any more than just describing how it makes me feel. It's changed a bit. It's a bit more the high kind of sweetness, and I can't. It's almost like this. It's kind of like, imagine if like honey. This sounds totally bizarre, but if you can imagine like if honey was really woody, then this is kind of what it kind of smell and taste like. Kind of a sweet wood smell. Totally kind of abstract, but that's now kind of toned down a little bit, and you're kind of getting this more of that sweet kind of subtle smokiness, but again, warm smokiness, not like the other puer. I think it was the aromatic puer, was very kind of boldly smoky. It was very kind of a high smokiness. It was very, you'd kind of just experience it on every level. The aroma was smoky, the taste was smoky, everything was a smoky, smoky, smoky. This is more warm, welcoming smoky. And as I say, each tea is unique, and each tea has a story to tell in its own way. I know, again, that sounds kind of bizarre. So, yeah. And we all have our personal opinions and tastes, so what is right for me might not be right for you. It's probably likely that that's the case, but it's interesting to compare kind of experiences, and there does tend to be quite a lot of crossover in the industry, or like it's like to be total chaos. Nobody would know what anyone else liked, or could figure out that. So yeah, that is my final Green Tea Guru tea tasting. We've done 2 raw puers, we've done 2 ripe puers, and I have enjoyed it immensely. So if you enjoyed those videos or any of these videos and you're interested in buying these teas, then go ahead. This is not a sponsored video at all. This is just me. I went ahead and bought some tea and I filmed myself tasting them. This is not an endorsement or sponsorship or whatever else. This is just someone who likes tea, tasting tea. And if you want to go buy some tea, then go buy some tea. That's totally up to you. I would highly recommend buying some Chinese style tea and brewing it Gongfu style, because that is what it's all about. So as always, I'll be having many more infusions of this tea, and thank you very much. I hope you've enjoyed this as much as I have. See you later.